They praised her intelligence, her confidence, her experience. Then she walked into the room. The smiles faded, the tone changed, and suddenly, the job she was promised disappeared. This is not a story about failure. This is a story about what happens when racism closes a door, and courage kicks it open. Stay with me, because what she did next turned rejection into the most powerful comeback of her. From the time she was 11 years old, Madeline Thompson knew exactly who she wanted to become. While other kids talked about becoming celebrities or athletes, Madeline dreamed of something quieter, but just as powerful. She wanted to work in corporate strategy, helping companies grow, solving complex problems, and proving that intelligence and discipline could open doors no matter where you came from. She grew up in a modest apartment. Her mother worked double shifts as a nursing assistant. Her father left when she was 8. Money was always tight, but expectations were high. Her mother used to tell her, "The world may not be fair, but excellence gives you a fighting chance." Madeline took those words seriously. She stayed up late studying while her friends slept. She worked part-time through high school. She earned a scholarship to a respected university. She graduated with honors. Then she earned her MBA while juggling 2 jobs. By her late 20s, Madeline had done everything society tells you to do to succeed. Everything, except fit the image some people wanted. The job posting looked like it was written just for her. Senior strategy analyst, top consulting firm, 6-figure salary, clear path to leadership. She applied, expecting competition. What she didn't expect was how smoothly everything went. The recruiter called within 2 days. The phone interview lasted longer than scheduled. The hiring manager said, "You're exactly what we're looking for." Emails followed quickly. Praise filled every message. "Your experience stands out. Your background is impressive. We're excited to move you forward." By the time Madeline was invited for the final in-person interview, she allowed herself something she rarely did. She imagined winning. She bought a new blazer, practiced her responses, rehearsed answers in the mirror. She walked into that glass building confident, prepared, and hopeful. The receptionist smiled politely when she checked in. Then the hiring panel entered. That's when Maya felt it. The shift. Their smiles faltered for just a second. Their eyes lingered a little too long. Their enthusiasm dimmed. It was subtle, but unmistakable. The interview itself was strange. Questions she had already answered perfectly in earlier rounds were suddenly repeated, this time with skepticism. Her leadership examples were picked apart. Her confidence was labeled aggressive. One interviewer asked, "Do you think you'd fit into our company culture?" Another said, "Some clients might find your communication style intense." Madeline knew exactly what that meant. She stayed calm, professional, composed. When the interview ended, one of the panelists said, "We'll be in touch." But this time, it didn't feel promising. 3 days later, the rejection email arrived. "We've decided to move forward with another candidate who more closely aligns with our organizational culture." Madeline stared at the screen. Culture, the word that so often hides discrimination behind professionalism. Weeks passed. Madeline tried to move on. Then one evening, her phone buzzed. It was a former classmate, someone who worked at the same firm. They hadn't spoken in years. "Hey," the message read. "I hope this isn't weird, but I heard about your interview." Madeline hesitated before replying. "What about it?" The response came slowly. "They loved you. Like, really loved you. You were the top candidate." Madeline's heart started racing. "So why didn't I get it?" There was a long pause. Then the message appeared. "Someone on the panel said you might be hard to place with clients because of how you look." Madeline's hands trembled. "How I look?" Another pause. "They said you might be too noticeable." That was the moment everything clicked. It wasn't her skills. It wasn't her experience. It wasn't her performance. It was her skin. That night, Madeline didn't cry softly. She broke. She screamed into a pillow so her neighbors wouldn't hear. She questioned every sacrifice she'd made. Every night she'd stayed up studying. Every time she'd worked twice as hard just to be considered equal. She thought of her mother's tired eyes. Her younger self believing hard work was enough. And for the first time in her life, Madeline considered quitting. Not just the job search, the dream, but something changed the next morning. Instead of feeling defeated, Madeline felt angry, focused, clear. She documented everything, saved emails, wrote down names, dates, statements. She consulted a legal clinic, not with expectations of a lawsuit, but to understand her rights. What she learned shocked her. Her experience wasn't rare. It was routine, and most people stayed silent. Madeline decided she wouldn't. She wrote a LinkedIn post, not naming the company, but describing the experience honestly. She didn't exaggerate. She didn't accuse. She told the truth. Within 24 hours, the post went viral. Thousands of comments flooded in. I went through the same thing. This happened to me too. Thank you for saying what we're afraid to say. Recruiters started reaching out. Executives messaged privately. One message stood out. The message came from a woman named Laura Bennett, a senior partner at a competing firm. I read your story, Laura wrote, and I want to meet you. No hype, no flattery, just respect. Their meeting felt different from the start. Laura looked Madeline in the eye, asked real questions, listened. At the end of the conversation, Laura said something Madeline would never forget. Your excellence doesn't need to be softened to make others comfortable. 2 weeks later, Madeline received an offer. Higher salary, clear promotion path, and something even more valuable. Belonging. Madeline thrived, not because she worked harder, she always had, but because she no longer had to shrink. She led teams, won clients, delivered results that exceeded projections. Within 2 years, she was promoted to director. Within 4 years, she became one of the youngest executives in the firm's history. The same industry that once rejected her now invited her to speak on diversity panels. The irony wasn't lost on her. Years later, Madeline attended a major industry conference. As she stepped onto the stage to deliver the keynote, she scanned the audience. And there they were, 2 of the interviewers who once rejected her. Their eyes widened when they recognized her. Madeline didn't acknowledge them directly. She didn't need to. Her success spoke louder than any confrontation ever could. Madeline's story isn't unique because racism exists. It's powerful because she refused to let it define her ending. She learned that rejection doesn't always mean inadequacy. Silence protects systems, not people. Excellence plus courage creates opportunity. Your presence can challenge rooms that were never built for you. Today, Madeline mentors young professionals, especially women of color, helping them navigate spaces that still resist change. She tells them one thing above all else. If they reject you for who you are, it's not your dream that's wrong. It's their limit. If you've been rejected for reasons no one will say out loud, if you're tired of proving yourself to people who refuse to see you, remember this. Your story doesn't end at rejection. Sometimes, that's where it truly begins. They rejected her because of her skin color. They thought that would be the end of her dream. But they were wrong. Because today, she stands where they said she never belonged, successful, respected, and unbreakable. If this story moved you, remember this. Rejection is not always a stop sign. Sometimes, it's proof you're headed somewhere they can't follow. If this story resonated with you, subscribe for more real stories of resilience, courage, and impossible comebacks. Thanks for watching and sharing.